So the for loop we mentioned is definite. An indefinite loop, indefinite, I don't know, I think that's how you spell it, is used when the number of iterations in a loop is indeterminate or unknown. Okay, indeterminate or unknown. Now, since we're using a while loop, the statement's going to look different. We're going to use the while keyword, but what we do need to do is instantiate our variable. And since we're using a variable that's changeable or mutable, we should use what? Well, hopefully you guessed the mut keyword. So let's say we want to make a variable, so we could say let mut be, since we used a already before, and we can have a starting point, so we'll start at 0. Now, what if we want to loop until 5? Well, we could say while b is less than 5. What do? Well, we bring in the curly brackets and we add instructions. Remember, this is where our instructions always go, in the brackets here. So what if we want to store each value into b and then print out the value? Well, since we're using b to count, we could also use b to store and to count. If I do b equals b plus 1 in the loop, what do you think is going to happen with this type of logic? Well, if I do b equals b plus 1, if b starts at 0, and we're running this loop in here, b is going to be 0, b plus 1 is going to be 1. Now b is going to equal 1. 1 is still less than 5. b is going to be 1. 1 plus 1 is going to be 2. Right? Then 3. Then 4. And then what happens when we get to 5? Well, is 5 less than 5? No. So it should technically stop. It should technically stop. But let's actually see if that's true. So I'm going to run print each value, because we want to get each value as we're doing it. So we're going to keep it in the while loop like this. And we're just going to say loop b value is, and we'll bring in b. And let's go ahead and run this, see what happens. And we're going to see that loop b value is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, it might be a bit confusing because we're saying b should be less than 5. But remember, when b is 4, 4 will be less than 5. And then 4 plus 1 will be 5. So we're going to print 5. But when b actually hits 5, it would have printed out 6. And we're not getting 6. So just so you know, if we wanted to get 6, we could say less than or equal to 5. And if we ran that code, you see that we get 6.